Around 15,000 years ago, the Earth warmed after a long ice age, leading to the melting of large ice sheets covering parts of North America and Europe. Around 12,800 years ago, this warm period was followed by the Younger Dryas. During this, the Earth quickly returned to near-glacial conditions, lasting for about 1,200 years. The most striking aspect was its abrupt end around 11,600 years ago, when temperatures rose by as much as 10 degrees in just 10 years. A 2017 article about Younger Dryas argues that the story of the Younger Dryas event was carved on stone pillars at Gobekli Tepe. The stone pillars at the Gobekli Tepe tell the story of a comet hitting Earth around 13,000 years ago. But is it just a coincidence, or did our ancient ancestors leave us a cosmic message? Welcome to Anthromedia. Before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe. In this video, we will uncover the mysterious ancient site, Gobekli Tepe. In 1986, some farmers stumbled upon something extraordinary on their farm. Mysterious stone artifact on Potbelly Hill, located in the city of Urfa in the southeastern province of Turkey. They decided to take them to a museum, but only to hear from the museum director, these are ordinary limestones. The stones remained idle in the garden of the museum for 5 years. Later, the German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt saw the stones there. After that, they explored the place. Excavation started in 1992. Klaus Schmidt saw more than just tools. He saw a hidden treasure. He knew this hill, called Gobekli Tepe, held something amazing. For 20 years, he dug and found an ancient sanctuary, predating Stonehenge and Egyptian pyramids by 6,000 years. Gobekli Tepe surprised everyone. It made people rethink where civilization started. Gobekli Tepe is considered humanity's first cathedral. Gobekli Tepe reveals stones intricately carved around 11,000 years ago. Gobekli Tepe is located in an area called the Golden Triangle, where the roots of agriculture and a new way of life began. Unlike what was previously thought, this region, including Gobekli Tepe, is now considered the cradle of agriculture. Mystery surrounds the purpose of the Gobekli Tepe, belonging to the pre-pottery Neolithic era. Were they temples or just places where people lived? Early looks at the nearby sites, such as Jericho and Catalhoyuk, suggest that permanent shrines were made before people settled in villages. Some think there were special spaces just for rituals, while others believe that in the pre-pottery Neolithic period, symbolism was part of everyday life, including residential buildings with meaning and spirituality. The discovery at Gobekli Tepe shakes up what we thought about early humans. The big sanctuary built around 10,000 BC wasn't made by farmers like we believed before. Surprisingly, it was the work of hunter-gatherers, challenging the idea that complex societies came only after agriculture. Recent evidence suggests the dawn of the Neolithic. Hunter-gatherers congregating at Gobekli Tepe created social and ideological cohesion through the carving of decorated pillars, dancing, feasting, and, almost certainly, the drinking of beer made from fermented wild crops. Standing 1,000 feet above the valley, visitors could have envisioned the landscape 11,000 years ago, a paradise with wild animals, flowing rivers, fruit trees, and fields of wild barley and wheat. Into extensive research, including ground-penetrating radar surveys, reveals that Gobekli Tepe extends beyond the excavated area. Mapping the entire summit, there are at least 16 other megalith rings across 22 acres. The ongoing excavations have barely scratched the surface, indicating the site's vast potential for further exploration. Prehistoric masons, armed with flint tools, shaped the limestone pillars on site before arranging them in rings. The builders covered the rings with dirt, creating layers over time. Gobekli Tepe isn't a regular settlement. It's a special place with large T-shaped pillars arranged in circles. The site has 3 main layers dating back to the Neolithic period. In level 3, the oldest structures are oval, about 15 meters by 10 meters in size, with concentric walls and T-shaped monoliths. Some have monumental stone entranceways, a latter phase. The level 2A, around 7,500 BC, features smaller rectangular buildings, with terrazzo floors and occasionally smaller T-pillars. Level 2B is the intermediary between the other two levels. The limestone pillars in levels 3 and 2A are finely crafted, featuring sculpted images of various creatures. In level 3, pillar heights range from about 2 to 3.5 meters, and in level 2A, they are around 1.4 to 2 meters high. Estimates suggest pillar masses ranging from 740 kilograms to 10.8 metric tons. The pillars are considered non-structural, and the buildings were likely unroofed. Traces of quarrying activities around the site indicate the extraction of pillars by cutting vertical channels around the blocks with flint tools, possibly using wooden levers and wedges to split them from the bedrock. The pillars at Gobekli Tepe are not just plain stones. They're carved with intricate designs of animals like foxes, snakes, and boars. Some even have human-like features, like hands and fingers. These structures were not used as living spaces, but likely served for communal and ritual activities. According to Sweatman and Tigritsis, the carved animals on the pillars represent constellations, with a particular stone, known as the Vulture Stone, serving as a timestamp for the night sky during the catastrophic event. By using computer software to match these carvings with star patterns, they identified 3 possible dates: 2000 BC, 4350 BC, and 10,950 BC, with the last date aligning closely with the estimated time of the Younger Dryas impact. The site was intentionally covered over time, possibly after being used for a while. The ongoing excavations around the site have revealed fascinating details of these ancient people's social and symbolic practices. Similar T-shaped pillar structures have been found at other sites in the region, forming a group of sites with a shared Celtic community. The evidence comes from the carvings on objects like shaft straighteners, stone cups, and bowls. These carvings depict animals and symbols similar to those found at Gobekli Tepe. The symbols suggest a shared symbolic world among the residents of different sites in Upper Mesopotamia, indicating a complex system of communication predating written language. This challenges the idea that social systems changed as a result of the shift to farming. This symbolic system persisted for thousands of years, indicating extensive connections and communication networks among these ancient communities. The construction of monumental sites like Gobekli Tepe required collaboration and organization, possibly facilitated by regular communal activities, including feasting and the consumption of likely alcoholic beverages. Recent archaeological findings, including those from Gobekli Tepe, challenge the conventional belief that beer and wine production originated later in Mesopotamia and Egypt. Evidence such as chemical analysis of residues in pottery suggests that the production of alcoholic beverages likely dates back to the Neolithic period. At Gobekli Tepe, large limestone basins with residues hint at the possibility of beer brewing, with oxalate suggesting the involvement of cereals like barley. While conclusive evidence is pending, the absence of signs of regular habitation at the site suggests nearby settlements might have been engaged in various stages of beer production. Genetic analysis near Gobekli Tepe showing wheat domestication challenge the idea that domestication was primarily linked to bread making. Early cereals, potentially more suitable for beer production than bread, may have provided nutritional advantages such as longer shelf life. The discussions about early society's use of alcoholic beverages are not new. Beer's potential nutritional advantages and the lack of toxicity in certain cereals add complexity to understanding early dietary choices. The evidence supports the idea that knowledge of creating alcoholic beverages existed in the early Neolithic period, with reasons for this development remaining subjects of exploration and discussion. The discovery of alcohol consumption in early societies aligns with models emphasizing social incentives for the shift from hunter-gatherers to farming communities. Gobekli Tepe, featuring large-scale fasting evident in backfilled sediments with animal bones, holds social and cultic significance. Feasts possibly fueled by beer played a role in fostering group cohesion, encouraging the transition to agriculture. Gobekli Tepe's feasts, categorized as collective work events, may have strained hunter-gatherer groups economically, driving the exploration of new food sources and processing techniques. The demand for such feasts, influenced by religious beliefs, likely played a pivotal role in the adoption of intensive cultivation and the transition to agriculture, with alcoholic beverages playing a crucial part in this transformative period in human history.